The first call I made was to a real estate attorney. She reviewed the survey, the certified letter, Richard's signed receipt, and his handwritten response, and told me I had an exceptionally clean encroachment case, and that given the documentation I had already assembled, the process would be straightforward. She sent Richard a formal legal notice within the week. Richard's response was that the survey was wrong and that he intended to get his own done. His survey, conducted 6 weeks later by a firm he selected himself, confirmed the exact same boundary line as mine to within less than an inch. Richard still did not move the fence. We filed in court. Now here is where things stopped being a routine property dispute and became something I could not have scripted better if I had tried. During discovery, my attorney requested Richard's complete chain of title and property documentation, and what came back caused her to call me on a Saturday morning with a tone I had not heard from her before. Richard had made representations to his mortgage lender at the time of purchase that included survey documentation showing a boundary line materially different from the legally recorded plat. The discrepancy was significant enough to constitute a potential issue with the original loan documentation, and my attorney referred the matter to the appropriate parties for their own review. That was no longer my problem to manage. Separately and entirely on my own, I had discovered through public county records that Richard had never pulled the required permits for the fence installation. I filed a formal complaint with the county building department on a Thursday afternoon. An inspector came out the following Tuesday. The fence failed inspection on 3 separate points, and Richard was issued a mandatory removal order with a hard compliance deadline and a fine that was not small. Then I did one final thing. Our neighborhood has a homeowners association with a board that meets monthly, and any resident may attend and address the board. I attended the next meeting and presented the boundary survey, the active court filing, the failed inspection, and the mandatory removal order as a matter of neighborhood record. Richard was also a member who attended meetings regularly. He was sitting 4 chairs to my left when I laid every document on the table and walked the board through each one in sequence. The room was the quietest I have ever heard a room full of people become. Richard did not speak once during the presentation or during the discussion that followed. The fence came down 11 days later. Richard listed his house for sale 8 weeks after that. He moved out on a Friday morning in October with a moving truck and did not say goodbye to a single person on the block. The good luck with that note is still in the drawer exactly where I put it. I have no plans to throw it away.